Let's talk all things Jupiter in 2024 and 2025. Jupiter is going retrograde today, and I wanted to take that opportunity to really dive deep into Jupiter. I want to help you understand this transit. I want to help you understand the next season of the Jupiter retrograde and really just help you understand what it all means. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to my channel. My name is JFO, that's my nickname, and I teach my system called Destiny Vibes. It's using the divine zodiac instead of superficial popular astrology. It's more in depth system. We really focus here on the North and South node, but today we're really going to break down Jupiter using my Destiny Vibe system to understand it. Every single planet in the zodiac has a ruling theme. One of the 12 themes is going to be connected to it. Some have two. For Jupiter, the ruling theme is the sign of Sagittarius, okay? So when we break down and understand Sagittarius, we can kind of understand the characteristics of the Jupiter placement and transit, okay? So that's the first thing we're going to do today. But I want to first just give you the dates and the information of what Jupiter's doing so that you could write this down and you can start like mapping out what you want it to mean. See, that's the key here. A lot of people think that when we're doing transit work that there's like something that's actually specifically going to happen to you. No, it's a theme. And once you start to really learn your own natal chart, you can track this collective theme in the customized version for you, okay? And you can start to see, these are the themes that are going to be playing out. How do I want to make that mean? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it'll play out the way you want it to play out, but that is my other channel. Sexy Fit Love with JFO is my conscious creation channel. So I truly believe that when we work with this divine tool and we also bring in the consciousness and the visualization tools and tips and manifestation tools and tips, when we merge them together, that is when we could really leverage this information in a really powerful way that doesn't control us, where the power is within, not outside of ourselves. But I love to break down these transits so that you can really, write this down in your calendar. So let's go. Okay, I'm going to read my notes here. So before we dive into the dates, I just want to say that Jupiter usually stays in one theme for about a year's time, 12 to 13 months, give or take, okay? So I want to go back in time a little bit and just remind you that in May of 2023 till May of this year, 2024, it was in Taurus. So Jupiter was in Taurus. So on May 25th of this year, Jupiter went into Gemini. So that kickstarted the Gemini year, okay? Now it's going to leave Gemini so that's why I say 12 or 13 months, because it's not exactly 12, but it's going to leave the sign of Gemini on June 10th of 2025 is when it's going to go into the theme of Cancer, okay? So let's really break down, now that Jupiter's going, retrograde today, let's break down the rest of this Jupiter and Gemini transit so you can understand it and what it means for you. Okay, October 9th, 2024, this is the day that you'll be seeing this video when it first gets released, is the day we go retrograde. Okay, so Jupiter in Gemini is at 21 degrees when it goes retrograde, 21 degrees. Now, I only share the degree information if you are an astrology nerd and you love, the metrics of your chart, all the degrees, and you want to track what house of the 12 houses it's falling into. You need the degree information. That's why I always share it. If you're so confused with that and you want to know more about what it means for you, I would love to work with you. So go in the comments below and obviously let me know any questions you have and I'll do videos on that. But if you really want to dive deep into your chart and you really need support with that, I want you to email me. Currently, I'm doing beta packages. Okay. So if you're watching this in the future, you may want to just check to see if there's other links below, but email me at justjfo@gmail.com and I'm going to craft a perfect customized experience for you where we can work together and you can really learn your hero's journey roadmap and learn what this means for you specifically. But I want to empower you to also learn the degree information. Okay, so let's get started. So from now, October 9th of 2024 until February 4th, 2025 is when it's going to be retrograding. It's going to go from 21 degrees Gemini, Jupiter, backwards to, 11 degrees. So 21 to 11 degrees. So before we dive into extra date information, I just want to kind of share that I'm going to give you an example using my chart of how I did destiny mapping is the phrase I coined. I don't like horoscopes. I don't do horoscopes. Horoscopes are this kind of generalized solar scope, and it's making your sun sign, it's making it the rising sign. So I don't like that because that's not actually your rising sign, right? I want it to be way more customized for you, and I want it to be way more specific, and I want you to learn how to do it, right? So I don't want you also relying on other astrologers to tell you what's going to happen. I want you to be in the power, in the empowerment of what it means for you, okay? So this is what I did. This is my process. And if you want to learn this process, just email me, okay? Or you can find the links below to join my conscious creation group and all of that. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what I did. I looked at my chart and I said, because I don't have any planets in Gemini, so nothing like specific planet-wise is happening there, but I do have my descendant, which is the opposite of the rising sign. So that's my relationship angle, the 7th house cusp, the Libra house cusp, the relationship angle for me is around 18 degrees Gemini, okay? So I looked at the exact degrees. And I saw that during this retrograde, it's going to go from one house to another. So it's going to go from my 7th house, my relationship house, backwards into my work house. And it's going to be there for, for October all the way until February, which is crazy because I am going to be working my butt off in the next 4-ish months because I'm starting a new job. I'm doing a lot of different things for my business that are related to sales, which is a Gemini theme. And we're going to break that down in a second. So stay tuned here. And I can see how it really has been in my relationship house and now it's going backwards. So it's just fascinating that once you look at the information, you're like, whoa, this is so accurate. And now I can set my sights on these projects. Another thing I'm doing is I'm moving. So that right there, Gemini rules, travel, local travel. So I'm road tripping, and this is all effort, a lot of effort and a lot of logistics and planning. And so the Virgo house is all of that, right? So for me, it's fascinating to see that. I didn't even know this before I made this video. I just checked it because I'm not checking all the things all the time, but it's just fascinating how now I can look ahead to this little seasonal section of my life and know what's happening, right? So let's talk about extra dates, what this all means, and how you can try to figure out what it means for your life. Okay, so to reiterate the dates, until February 4th is when it's going to be going backwards, and then it's going to move forward in the degree of 11 degrees of Gemini, and then on June 10th, 2025, it is going to go into the theme of Cancer, and it's a whole new theme and a whole new setup. So let's talk about the next, a little over 7-8 months? Okay, let's break it down. So Jupiter in Gemini, what does that mean? So let's break down Jupiter. Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. Ironically, Gemini is the opposite theme of Sagittarius. So that's an interesting combination, right? Now we've got a Sag theme with a Gemini theme. And then that third layer of the combination, that's what's so powerful about the system. It's a 3-layered cake, if you will. The third layer is that house and where it is for you. So for my chart, it's going to start with Jupiter in Gemini and Libra. And then it's going to go Jupiter, Gemini into Virgo. And so that I know that it's working with those themes, okay? So Jupiter, Sagittarius is all about far away travel. Sometimes that far away travel can be metaphysical. It's expansion. So sometimes it's kind of like this spiritual expansion of learning and growing. So the travel could be in your mind, right? And in your soul and in your spirit. Because Sagittarius is a fire sign. So right there is spirit. It's spirit led. And Sagittarius is in the spiritual stage of astrology. So there's this soulful spiritual perspective when it comes to Sagittarius, which means it's the same for Jupiter. Jupiter brings that soulful spiritual perspective. And people like to say that Jupiter is the abundant sign of the zodiac. I feel like the reason why it's the abundant sign of the zodiac is because it's all about learning. It's all about growing. It's all about this really epic adventure we're going to take, this story we're going to tell. That is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a storyteller, right? Because when you use my zodiac formula to break down what a theme means, what you're going to do is you're going to have stage, element, and quality. Those are the three main things you're going to use. So spiritual stage, soulful energy with that fire, or another way to say is action-packed, taking massive action. And then it's mutable energy. And mutable energy is all about learning, absorbing information and learning, and then imparting that information to others to grow and expand. And because it's spiritual, and because it's massive action and soulful, it usually translates into this epic story. And Sagittarius is usually all about words and talking and fun adventures, and right. So there is that kind of abundance aspect to Jupiter. Okay, that expansion aspect to Jupiter. So what does that mean when it's in Gemini? Well, Gemini is also mutable because it's the opposite of Sagittarius. Okay, but the difference between Gemini and Sag, both mutable, whereas Sag is fire, Gemini is air. Sag is in the spiritual stage, Gemini is in the survival stage. So now we're taking that abundance and we're putting it into this theme that's really about mental survival instead of action-packed spiritual energy. Okay, so that's really fascinating, right? Because it's all about trying to figure out the mental survival. And this is crazy because Gemini is the salesman of the zodiac. It represents marketing. It represents short travel. So where Sagittarius is like more international, far away travel, Gemini really represents local travel, right? The local neighborhood is another theme of Gemini. The local neighborhood, the marketing or the marketplace, or going down into the market in the local neighborhood, right? So it's like very much those themes. And then they say it's the sign of the twin. And the reason why they say it's the sign of the twin is because Geminis are really good at separating their mind and their heart. That's the twin part. And they're really good at attacking something just with pure logic. That's the survival stage part of it. It's like mental for survival, just got to go with the survival. And then they kind of save the heart space for another moment because they want to separate, right? That is their beautiful, beautiful genius and skill. And of course, Gemini is also about facts and like nerding out on information. And they always say that Gemini knows a little bit about a lot of things so that they can come off like they're the smartest person in the room. Gemini is the sign of the zodiac that is the smartest sign of the zodiac. Just smarts, right? Like knows all the facts, right? And whereas Sagittarius is more like, I don't need the facts. I'm going to tell you my truth. I'm going to tell you my story. Gemini's like, truth? Let's like break down the facts, right? So it's like so different. Now, that doesn't mean that like the Gemini theme can't tell a story. They're just going to tell a story with a little bit more grammar in the right place, punctuation in the right place. So the way I like to say it is like Gemini is like the editor and Sagittarius is the writer, right? That's how I like to kind of explain that. So we're really having this abundance of mindset, this abundance of thoughts, but like in the negative, it could be like an abundance of lots of thoughts about survival. And in the positive, it's like abundance of just nerding out on facts and nerding out on information and learning a skill that's going to, support you in your marketing efforts, support you in your networking efforts, right? So that is really this combination collectively, but then it gets really cool when you see how it's happening in your movie script. Okay, so I want to help you. If you know your natal chart, I like to use astro.com. It's literally free. You can just create a free account and look up your chart. And if you want to dive deeper into like using those tools and really doing this on your own, I really highly advise you to get my bundle. It's only $33. You're going to get 2 mini courses, astrology mini courses, and my conscious creation course, and my private group called the High Performance Mastermind. The course is the Mindset Fix, your Zodiac Bootcamp, which is my quarterly tracking for your chart course, and then a course on your second destiny theme. And you're also going to get my freebie of the first destiny theme. So you're going to get a lot in this bundle. It's only $33. So just go to the link below. If you want to work with me privately, then you're going to email me at justjfo@gmail.com, so that we can customize something, because I'm in the beta phase right now, which is great. You're going to save a lot of money. But here's the thing. What I want you to do is this. If you know your chart and you know where 11 degrees Gemini and 21 degrees Gemini is going to fall in your chart, you can go in the comments and say, hey, this is where it's falling in my chart. And I will give you a little fun free reading in the comments, because as long as I know where it is, what house it's in, I can support you. And you also want to go to, if you don't want to get the bundle and you just want to get the freebie, go to itstotallyyourdestiny.com and you can take my free 8-minute destiny course. It's like an 8-minute video, and then you can find your destiny sign and your destiny themes, because that also plays a huge role in this. So for example, I know that when this Jupiter and Gemini transit is happening for me from now till February, I know it's going literally out of my 7th house into my 6th house, going back from the 6th house into the 7th house, and then charging forward into Cancer in my 7th house, right? So because I know that, I also know that that side of my chart is on my destiny side. So it's heightened in a different way. It's like exciting for me, this Jupiter and Gemini in these houses, right? And I can really see like how it plays into like my deep desires of what I really want, right? That is why the Hero's Journey system is so powerful. So it's so important to not only know the house, but to know your destiny line. So put it in the comments below if you want to work with me. Find the information below, and I'll catch you next week.